So the subjunctive, it sounds weird, it sounds new, el subjuntivo, but like I said, we're just basically doing this for the rest of the semester. See? Okay, so just to reiterate, miren chicas, so en clase esta semana, y perdón, un error. We started off the week just focusing on this, and you don't need to write anything down just yet. Just listen. Estudiantes limpian sus casas frecuentemente. So we started off this week talking about this, which is stating what? Limpian sus casas. What am I saying here? Clean your houses. Right. It's direct. It's a command. See, it's a command. It's very direct. So now we're going to talk about making it a little softer, less aggressive, less direct, okay? And that's what the subjunctive is. Es importante que ustedes limpien sus casas frecuentemente. Okay, so now you can copy this on your paper. And when you do, you'll notice when you copy limpian, what has changed about our verb conjugation, the grammar? What's changed? It's the same exact thing. 2-for-1 special, chicos. Go to the O, drop the O, change it to the opposite of what you know. You're going to be doing that for the next 3 months of your lives in Spanish because the subjunctive and the commands grammatically are the same. Same verb conjugations. So this is good news, okay? But the difference is the context. What's the difference between saying limpian sus casas frecuentemente and es importante que ustedes limpian sus casas frecuentemente? One's softer. The subjunctive is softer. It's less direct. It's less intense. Okay? Es importante que. No?
It's more of like a suggestion.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And we're going to talk about that. It's a suggestion. You're not telling somebody to do it. You're just recommending that they do it. Exactamente. Muy bien. Okay, otro ejemplo. So, no ensucian su ropa cuando comen. We talked about this earlier this week. Telling y'all not to do what? Don't what? No ensucian su ropa. Don't get your clothes dirty when you eat. But now, I'm going to be a little bit less intense, a little softer. Profeseta les, actually it should say lace. Does it say lace? Change it on your paper. Lace, put an S there. I'll tell you why here in a second. Recomienda que ustedes no ensucien su ropa cuando comen. That should say comen. I copy and paste and update and I overlook little errors. Perdón. Okay, but we'll talk about why here in a second. Ensucien. So, even though my verb conjugation is the same, now I'm saying what? Profeseta recomienda que, saying what? She recommends that y'all don't, get your clothes dirty. See, what's up with the lace? How come that was an error? Why did I have to change it to lace instead of lay? What is it? Who is it referring to? Plural. Muy bien. Sophia, who's it referring to? Ustedes. Right, okay? Listen carefully. On the super site, you're going to be filling in the blanks with the correct form of the subjunctive, okay? Going to the O, dropping the O, changing it to the opposite of what you know. And as you can see here, the form that we put it in, the subject comes after the K. But sometimes you may not have that. And if it's on the super site or the test or 202 next spring, and you can't figure out who the subject is, look at the verb before the K and see if there's a pronoun. Because if it's te, then you know to put your verb in the to form. Exactly. Or if it's nos, then you're going to conjugate your verb in the nosotros form. Okay? Just a little tip. Ustedes acuéstense temprano durante la semana. At the beginning of the week, I told you to do this. Acuéstense means what? Yeah, go to sleep early during the week. That was direct. That was a command. So we attached the pronoun. But where does the pronoun come with the subjunctive? Se acuestan, it comes before it. Just like we've been doing all along with pronouns. It comes before it. Es necesario que, saying what? It's necessary. Salud. It's necessary that you go to bed. Sí. So it's much softer. And we have this que that's connecting an original verb with a new verb. Remember in chapter 9 we talked about the connector que? It was on your test. You had to use que in a question with an accent mark, but then you also had to use que to connect two ideas. In chapter 9, we were connecting ideas with que. This is not something new. What's new is like what Aaron says, is that now we're making suggestions. So even though this is like, oh, this is easy, I can't believe she's making such a big deal about this, it's because what comes before the que determines the conjugation of a verb. And since this is a suggestion, es importante que this verb is going to be conjugated in what we call the subjunctive. Go to the O, drop the O, and change it to the opposite of what we know. Because que can connect two ideas, and we don't use the subjunctive. We weren't using subjunctive in chapter 9. I can say, tengo una clase que es like muy divertida, or muy aburrida, or muy fácil, or muy difícil, no? Or tengo un amigo que habla portugués. And in those examples, habla es, that's not the subjunctive, even though those sentences have que in. So that's the hard part. Knowing, oh, this phrase that comes before the que is making a suggestion, a recommendation, and therefore this verb has to be in the subjunctive. So we can't just look at the que and be like, boom, subjunctive. We have to think about what the phrase before the que is saying. And making a recommendation in the form of an impersonal expression or, recomienda, then we're going to use the subjunctive. Es bueno que means what? It's good that. So I can say like, es muy buena idea que ustedes hagan la tarea del supersitio. I'm just saying it's a good idea, okay? So it doesn't just have to be es bueno. Mejor, malo, importante, necesario, urgente. These all have to do with recommendations, and so they're going to be followed. The verb after this, the dependent verb, is going to be in the subjunctive. But we also have phrases. So impersonal expressions plus que equals subjunctive. Recommendations plus que equal the subjunctive. Okay? That's what this chart is here for. But this chart, these categories of uses of the subjunctive that are on your paper are going to grow and grow and grow. From here on out, your handouts are going to have more and more boxes that look like these two boxes on it, because we're going to add to the list the phrases that introduce the subjunctive. So just like in chapter 10, I was like, tweed equals imperfect. This chapter, next chapter in January, I'm going to give you an acronym, weddings. And all of those letters in weddings stand for uses that introduce the subjunctive. Okay? All right, so let's talk about this one, recommendations. Okay, so recommendations introduce the subjunctive, and they can be in the form of impersonal expressions like es bueno, okay? Or we can have verbs. Do you need to know what every single one of these verbs mean in English? Absolutely not. Do you need to recognize that these verbs are making recommendations? Yes. Some of them are very obvious. Which one of these verbs is like super obvious that it's a recommendation? Recomienda. Okay. We would see that and be like, yeah, that's definitely a recommendation. Anything else? Prohíbe, right? Exactly. What you're not allowed to do, which is like a recommendation. Insiste means what? Insist. Sofía? Importa. Muy bien. ¿Algo más? Repite. Manda. So this is kind of new, but it looks like what? Mandato, which is like mandating, mandatory, no? ¿Algo más? Okay, some of the less obvious ones right now will really become obvious when we relate them to recommendations. A synonym for recommend in English is what? You already said it. Suggestion. Which one of these words means suggest? Sugiere. Suggest. And you're registering for classes. You're meeting with who to register? Before you register for classes, you should meet with who? Your advisor. What does an advisor do? Advises. Aconseja. Recommends, advises, suggests. Those are all synonyms in English and they're all synonyms in Spanish. Recomienda, sugiere, aconseja. So now we're left with pide and ruega. Those are the really obscure ones, less obvious. Ruega starts with R recommendation. So remember it like that. Ruega demonstrates how, like, the telenovela side of Spanish, things can be a little dramatic and passionate. Ruega means begs. Profeseta les ruega que. I beg that you all, blah, blah, blah. Ruega means beg. So if it's in the nosotros form, like mis colegas y yo rogamos que, we beg that you all come to class or something. Vengan a clase. If you see a form of rogar, then you know you're going to use a subjunctive. So let's finish with pide. What's up with pide? What does that mean? Close. To ask for. To ask for. So if you can think of a way to remember that, that's helpful. Asking that you do something, not just like asking for help or, ordering a pizza, because it can also mean to order, but I'm asking you to put away. You know how people are like, I'm asking you to put that away. That's intense. That's the subjunctive, okay? So you're going to have to recognize these phrases and be able to identify, that's giving a recommendation, so I'm going to use the subjunctive.
Kind of sounds like PETA, and whenever I hear that, I think PETA, please.
Okay, PETA, please. Perfect. It does kind of sound like a PETA, and PETA reminds you of please. Okay, perfecto, whatever works. So now we're going to see if you know it. Blah, 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 I've presented it, now it's your turn. So when you're ready, you'll choose between infinitivo. Well, actually, we'll save infinitivo for the next section. Now we're just looking at subjuntivo or mandato. Okay? ¿Están listos? ¿Sí? Mandato or subjuntivo, chicos? Mandato or subjuntivo? Y es mandato. Muy bien, ¿por qué? It's okay, it's the first one, first day. Don't worry, we have 3 more months of this. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué es mandato?
Telling me to do something.
Yes, what am I telling him to do? Make his bed. Muy directo, ¿no? Muy directo. Mandato or subjuntivo? Es mandato. Okay, why? ¿Por qué? Let's figure out why. This is why we're doing this in class today. See, Sophia?
It's not giving Paco an option to not play tennis with him.
Yes, exactly. What is he saying? Right, or it's a good idea, or say, play tennis tomorrow with me.
Treat your friend.
Juegue. Directo. Now?
How close there?
See, exactly. It's all based on context. And we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you some examples in English, scenarios. When would you use what? Now it might be a little bit more obvious. Mandato or subjuntivo. Y chicos, muy bien. Subjuntivo. ¿No? ¿Por qué? Es mejor que. What's that saying? Es mejor que. It's better than. No? Mejor was on a lot of people's chapter 10 tests. Mejor, mejor. Better, better, better. Or best. It's better that what?
If you're not sure on something like that, is it like safe to usually go with like if it has like descriptive words?
Exactamente. So there's more words here, meaning it's less direct. Mandatos are very direct. Subjunctive have a lot more to it. Es mejor que. It's better that what?
You sweep before
After
or
having a party. Who sweeps? Is this usted or ustedes? He. Chicos. Subjunctive also can be in any form. Tú, él, nosotros. Commands today, this week, it's only usted and ustedes. Okay, so el barra. Mandato or subjuntivo? Muy bien, mandato. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué es mandato? Clase, voy a la biblioteca. What am I saying? Go to the library. Okay, that's it. To study. Muy bien, very direct. Mandato or subjuntivo? Ahora sí, subjuntivo, chicas. Muy bien. ¿Por qué?
Because you're begging us.
I'm begging you, or the class, le ruega que no se acueste tarde. Okay, chicas, I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to see if you can figure it out. Infinitivo, mandato or subjuntivo. Tres opciones. Ahora, tres opciones. Why am I not explaining it? Because have we used infinitives before today, ever, in La Clase de Español? Sí. So I have confidence that you can do it. Infinitivo, mandato, or subjuntivo? Subjuntivo. ¿Por qué? Insiste que la clase ponga. Okay? So if it said poner, then it would be infinitive. But insiste plus que. Que is a connector connecting a new subject with an original subject and a new verb. So it's subjunctive. And remember, mandatos are very short and sweet. Squeakers.
Just stretches your back.
Sí. Infinitivo, mandato, subjuntivo.
I don't think any of us are right.
Mandato. No, muy bien. Mandato. ¿Por qué? Sacuda. Sacuda los muebles. What am I telling you to do? Dust the furniture. Muy bien. Very direct. Infinitivo, mandato, or subjuntivo es muchas opciones. Infinitivo. Infinitivo. Ver. Sí, es bueno ver. What's it saying? It's okay. That's why we're doing it in class today. It's good to look at the PowerPoints on notes. No. Sí, muy bien. So I have a question for you. In English, if this means it's good to look at the PowerPoints, then and we're just using an infinitive, then why even bother using que and then conjugating ver in the subjunctive? Why is this even? This doesn't seem worth our time if we can just do as bueno ver. See, Aaron?
The infinitive just more of a general statement, whereas
Muy bien. Exactly. So it's like the first day of class, syllabus, blah, blah, blah. It's a really good idea that to watch the PowerPoints on oath. It's very, very general. But now it's after midterms, people have gotten grades. You're visiting in my office, and it's like, Harry, Jake, es bueno que ustedes, Harry y Jake, vean los PowerPoints de gramática and oaths. ¿Entienden la diferencia? We use the subjunctive when we need to make it very specific. Or we're talking about somebody, it's really important that he does that, or else he's not going to do well, parent-teacher conference. Okay, which fortunately I don't have to do in college. Okay, número 4, infinitivo, mandato, or subjuntivo? Yo te recomiendo que almuerces subjuntivo. So why is this a subjunctive? So we have te recomiendo que, and then our new verb. And who's the subject of this verb? Who am I talking to? I'm not using an infinitive because it's very specific. You, but how can you tell there's no to after the K? The te. This is what I was talking about earlier. You're going to see this on the super site. Almuerces. Sí. Infinitivo, mandato, subjuntivo. So hopefully by now you're noticing a little bit of a pattern. Está bien. Excelente, chicos. Subjuntivo. Muy bien. ¿Por qué? Es malo que. Silvia, dejé. ¿Cuál es el infinitivo de dejé? Dejar. Dejar. Where have we seen this verb before? It wasn't even part of our vocab. I just threw it in with el buzón de voz. Remember in chapter 11, el buzón de voz is voicemail. Se usa para dejar un mensaje, to leave a message. We can also use it in this context to leave what? What's basura? What's Sylvia doing? She's a slob. Yeah, she's leaving her trash. She's littering. Exactly. And this is a vocab word that we'll see in the future. Subjuntivo. Es malo que deje. Infinitivo. Muy bien. ¿Por qué? Es bueno hacer la cama. So what am I saying here? It's good to make. Am I talking to anybody specifically? No. Infinitives are used when there's no specific subject. When I need to talk to somebody specifically, then I'll use the subjunctive when I'm making a recommendation. Or if I need to be much more direct and intense, then I'll use a command. So what are you going to have to do on the test? There's going to be a bunch of sentences just like we did now. And your answers on the test are going to be infinitivo, mandato, subjuntivo. You're not going to be conjugating verbs. You're just identifying how it's being used. So, recomendación, yo les recomiendo que, subjuntivo, ustedes miren. Subjuntivo de mirar. Miren esta presentación de PowerPoint in Oaks antes del examen. I would go through these that we just did on your own and see if you can reproduce infinitivo, mandato, or subjuntivo.